Welcome to Whispering Loudly, the award-winning Workshop Whisperer podcast, as featured by Apple, with Rachael Evans, the #1 automotive business coach in the aftermarket. Thanks to Platinum sponsor Podium and Titanium sponsor Mechanic Desk.
Welcome to the Workshop Whisperer podcast. I'm producer Mel, and I'm here with Rachael today from the Workshop Whisperer, the #1 business coach in the auto aftermarket in Australia and New Zealand. And we now have so many people that listen all over the globe, and we're very grateful. What's some of your favourite things about people who don't do it all the time, about going into other markets, going to the US, going to the UK, seeing how workshops operate over there? What sort of things do you mainly get as takeaways and learn?
Prior to COVID, we were in the US a couple of times per year. I love the US, full stop. So, they have a different,
so do I.
A different environment there supporting business owners and entrepreneurs. It's a tall poppy syndrome that we have here in Australia that doesn't exist over there, and it's just so much more positive. And
they're very championing, aren't they?
Yes. Definitely.
Yes.
And, I've often said that when you get off the plane at LAX and you walk outside for that first whiff of the very cool morning air, because you always fly in from Sydney or Brisbane or Melbourne, at 6 o'clock in the morning, that you can smell the possibility in the air. Anything is possible. So that's the #1 reason why I love being in the States. But we go over there.
I keep thinking of that Marley song. Hop off the plane in LAX. Dream in my heart.
I didn't know you could sing that.
I can't. That's why you're going to talk about your other travels.
But we love going to the trade shows and the big conferences over there because, the Americans do things just a little bit differently, not to the point where we'd say that it's completely different. There are definitely things that we do differently in Australia and New Zealand, and not in a good way. And we go over there to watch what's happening in practice so that we're able to confidently, come back to Australia and share with our clients why this is working in practice and why we need to close the gap. It was said to me after an event that we were at in Kansas in 2019, when I was describing how workshop owners in Australia run their front of house, predominantly without service advisors, and the coach that I was talking to just couldn't believe it. He's like, we stopped running it like that 30 years ago, and there really are some obvious differences, and that's why we hammer service advisor training and hammer having a service advisor, because we see how well it works and the difference that it can make. So we're more than happy to invest the time and the dollars going around the world to get best practice, to bring it back and pass that on to our clients, because we know it makes the difference for them, going from struggling auto repair shop owners to being successful auto repair shop owners, having the profit that they desire, which ultimately lets them have the life that they desire. So we love doing that. We're learners, learning or learner is in our top 5 for both myself and for Coach Dean. And we'll never stop wanting to be able to bring the strategies and the tips back to our clients that will help them improve even more. So we'll always be on that quest.
That's so cool. We can't wait to hear what intel you have for us from your next big trip.
Want to find out how the Workshop Whisperer team can put your auto repair shop on the path to business success? Head to www.workshopwhisperer.com/whispering loudly to claim your free workshop success session with the team.
Workshop Whispers this week on the show, and Amy is in Canberra. She says she's feeling really stressed because her auto repair shop is currently undergoing renovations. The budget has blown way out of control, and hoists, other machinery and the fit out is costing way more than her and her husband Mark had budgeted for. She's at a loss regarding what to do. Their lease of their current premises is up in 2 weeks, and they've already rented out the new premises, but it's nowhere near finished and ready to open for business. Rachael.
Oh, that sounds like a bit of a pickle.
Get Mel. A little shovel and dig a hole and crawl into it. Yeah. No, that's all the advice I have. Obviously, That's why I'm not Rachael.
I think, there's 2 things here. Obviously, if your lease is up in 2 weeks and your new premises, you're doing an overhaul there, it's not ready, you obviously have to have a conversation with your current landlord and see what you can work out there. And, hopefully they don't already have somebody ready to move in. If they do, offer to pay more money to be able to stay for a couple of weeks.
That's a good idea.
Or on the other side, look at what you can do to get across there. Maybe you need to move out. Maybe you need to have a few weeks where you're not open. Yes, that's going to hurt.
Well, that's tough.
But unfortunately, it kind of brings into view the bigger picture, which is that moving, renovations always cost more than we budget for, and we often don't plan properly for the move. And, I've seen it time and time again. We've got budget blowouts, things not being ready for when you want them to be ready. So for any of you out there listening who are considering a workshop move, or you are considering closing down for a period of time in order to renovate your current premises, give yourself double the time that you actually think it will take, because there are so many outside influences that will impact your renovation and your move. You'll, need the guy to come and run the new power to the hoists and everything else that you need. But if he has a, unplanned for something at his end and he can't get to you on time, then you're immediately behind.
And then everyone else is behind, right?
That's right.
All the other trades.
That's right.
God, yeah.
So we need to factor in the extra time, and we need to factor in probably at least 33% more than what you think it's going to cost.
Wow.
So I've had clients who, I thought they had everything organised to move over a 2-day period while the shop was closed on the weekend. A week later, they are still not moved, and they were borrowing money, trying to get money from here, there and everywhere, because they were about $10,000 short.
Oh, no.
Because things were more difficult. You don't realise until you actually get the trucks there and the people that you need to move the equipment. Maybe, there's additional things in the new place that you thought you had there, infrastructure wise, but it's not that, and you need to get that installed quickly. So just really give yourself a time buffer and a money buffer. But for Amy in particular, go to your landlord now, see what you can sort out, and start there.
Good idea to offer a little bit more to stay in longer. Very good. Thank you, Rachel. Jake is in Mandurah in Western Australia, and he has a holiday scheduled for 3 weeks' time, which he's really happy about because it's been a long time since he's had a break with his family. But a key staff member, his number one technician, actually, who always oversees things for Jake, has gone away. Jake would really love to keep his holiday booking, but is at a loss about what to do about it. Rachel, any ideas?
Okay. First of all, we don't know the circumstances surrounding why the team member has unexpectedly resigned. This, unfortunately, might be a case of Jake not going, or we can look at the opportunity here for other members on the team, if there are some, of who could step up. It could be a great opportunity for somebody that Jake wasn't even necessarily looking at, who wants responsibility and wants a chance to be able to step up and look after things. So I would be sitting down with the team if I was Jake, and really finding out who he's got on the team, who's got the aspiration to be a leader, who wants to step up, who likes responsibility. Maybe this person that was usually taking care of things meant that somebody else that wants the opportunity wasn't getting it. So Jake might be surprised. There could be somebody there already in the wings. If Jake's business is well systemised, there should be, recorded procedures of how things are done and what needs to be taken care of. But if it's 3 weeks into the future, Jake, you've got 3 weeks to train somebody up. But, you really don't get to highlight the gaps in your systems and processes until you're not there. So
What are you saying? Are you saying let the beep hit the fan? Is that what you're saying, Rachel?
That's just generally what happens when you're not there anyway, whether you're actively trying to create that situation or not. So, you could put your best efforts into somebody else to get them ready for when you're away, and expect that they are going to be on the phone to you as things happen. But it will highlight for you what gaps there are and where this person needs training, or what systems you hadn't recorded yet. And that's a really good thing. So you can use it as an opportunity. If there's not that person available to you right now, Jake, and you really want to take this holiday, then it's a close the workshop situation. So weigh up, if your mental health is more important here, and it may very well be, and you should not feel bad for making that decision. Everybody gets a week off. And if that's not the case, then, maybe you just push the holiday out for a little bit longer until you do have somebody trained up. But I would definitely be looking inside the team and find out from them who's looking for a chance to step up.
With your Workshop Whisperer clients, do you have systems in place with them that they put in place essentially for, if something like this happens? Do you recommend spreading the responsibilities and not putting it too much on one person, or is that just being too fearful?
No, it's definitely a strategy that one person or any person in the business doesn't hold that much key person risk that it hurts the business if they're not there. So often it'll be the owner, when we first start working with a workshop owner, that holds most of the key person risk, because they're usually the most skilled technician in the business. They've been running it from day dot. They hold all this information in their head that's vital to the business running, but nobody knows what that information is besides them. So we very much work as fast as we can to accurately record all the little bits and pieces from the owner's head that are vital to the functioning of the business, so that if he or she is not there, the business can still function. So it's definitely a great strategy to spread that out so that there's more than one person at any one time that can fulfill a role in the business or can perform a function. You should have an operations manual, and that doesn't have to be text-based. That could be screen recordings or videos of how to do something that are just stored on a Google Drive or in a Dropbox. That can be your operations manual, but something that a team member can consult as a training tool before coming straight to you or before coming to a manager.
Thank you so much for your help. If you want to get in touch with Rachael and be on this episode next time we do it, just email admin@workshopwhisperer.com. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you rate and review us in iTunes so we zoom up the chart.
Thanks for listening to Whispering Loudly, the award-winning Workshop Whisperer podcast, as featured by Apple, with Rachael Evans, the #1 automotive business coach in the aftermarket. Thanks to Platinum sponsor Podium and Titanium sponsor Mechanic Desk.